Some traders and industrialists who didn't want to be videotaped accused the quality agencies of being embroiled in controversy and conflict between the Rwanda Standards Board and the Rwanda Food and Drug Authority, saying one of the institutions might agree to certify them and the other takes away the certification. Speaking to the management of both institutions, they said this is unfounded because both institutions have clear responsibilities and there's no conflict, as RSB sets the standards while the FDA conducts inspections of these standards if properly implemented. Alex Gisagara from the Rwanda Food and Drug Authority and Murenzi Raymond from the Rwanda Standards Board agree that they have never been in conflict and no trader was given the quality certificate issued by one of the institutions only to be taken away by the other. For example, if someone is going to make juice, RSB has certain standards that someone has to follow. It's that person's responsibility to follow that standard, and when we come to inspect, they have to show us those standards from the RSB, and if you're complying with them. We control the compliance of the Rwanda Standards Board standards, while the RSB sets the standard, so there's no confusion. We have no case because as government agencies we work together. We meet and discuss how to improve our responsibilities. It should be clear that there's no conflict. One might think they conflict, but actually they complement each other, as FDA is responsible for inspection of standards while RSB sets the standards for the services. Some of the traders and those who help traders get the required documents, including certification, exporters, and the private sector in Rwanda, say that the new system of applying for quality certificates using technology doesn't make it easier to obtain the required quality certifications, which sometimes makes them incur losses. So now the existing system is new. It's the FDA. There are some documents that are still difficult to get, or especially that some of the suppliers have not understood it as it was before on the RSB. The effect is that sometimes our products are delayed or perish along the way. For instance, perishable goods in refrigerators will get spoiled, yet they were supposed to be sold in about 1 or 2 weeks and makes us incur losses as traders. When accessing the system, we would be told it would take a short time. Before, it would take us just 3 days, but now there are times you apply and it takes 3 days before you get the visa, which means the first 3 days are complete before you reach step 2 and you need step 3 of the visa. One wonders what the difference is in using the system or not. During customs, any delays mean more expenses incurred due to the storage fees. Because if someone has a 200,000 Rwanda francs invoice, that's what he invested. You wouldn't tell him to pay 200,000 for being in the system or registration to get it. Alex Gisagara, the head of Foods and Drug Inspections and Safety Monitoring at the Rwanda Food and Drug Authority, says such traders often ignore the fact that they do not meet the requirements of their products, such as identifying a reliable source for their products and thus the delay in obtaining the required documents of certification. What we are asking for is that when they say it's difficult to get the certificate, we ask them to verify where they got their goods, whether it's legal in that country, because we want to make sure the product they bring to the country have a well-known source. So most of the delay is because they don't have all that we require. As you know, the system is effective. It's not possible that their goods would perish because they are waiting for the FDA import permit. Both the Rwanda Food and Drug Authority and the Rwanda Standards Board are urging traders and industrialists and importers to seek for explanations where misunderstandings arise before bringing their products to the Rwandan market, because those that have all the requirements do not face any difficulties. The Rwanda FDA and RSB also say they are going to work with the importers in Rwanda to address the challenges they face in obtaining quality certification for their products.